Terminator Dark Fate has accomplished what we all wanted. Erased the other Terminator movies after T2. Arnold Schwarzenegger is back, but it's Linda Hamilton who steals the show in Terminator Dark Fate. And she's got some help from Mackenzie Davis, from Natalia Reyes, and Gabriel Luna playing the new Terminator. 29 years have passed since Sarah Connor and John Connor and the nice T-800 stopped Judgment Day. Or did they? Sarah Connor returns to badassery to help save Daniela, a woman targeted for termination by a new and improved liquid Terminator called the Rev-9. A half-cyborg human named Grace is also sent from the future to save Danny. Arnold Schwarzenegger is back, too. But how is that possible, since he literally had a meltdown in T2? Well, we're not going to tell you, but screenwriters David S. Goyer, Justin Rhodes, and Billy Ray found a clever way to do it, and it's a shocker, so embrace yourselves. I love Terminator Dark Fate. Now, I don't want to build it up so high because people are going to go in with high expectations and they might be disappointed because there's some elements they like that I didn't like, or vice versa. So what I will say is Terminator Dark Fate got it right as far as putting in the familiar that we know and love from the first two movies and also giving us something new. And Tim Miller, who directed Deadpool, delivers on the action, that's for sure. And you'll see a bit of his humor that we saw in Deadpool. Of course, we'll attribute that to Ryan Reynolds, but there's a lot of humor in that vein in this movie, which I think made it very different because you had humor in T2, but here they ramp it up a little bit. And that is not a comedy, but they just throw in some very funny lines, and they're delivered by courtesy of Schwarzenegger. So it's even funnier him delivering these lines, and I'm trying not to give this away, but the common question was, how does the T-800 return in this movie if he was destroyed in T2? Well, I was very satisfied with how they did it. I was very happy. I thought it was very clever. And that was going to be the big hurdle, like, how is this possible? But they did it. Their explanation made total sense. And it's a bit sad, but I won't say how. The actors were awesome. Everybody pulled their own weight. Even though you have sort of three saviors, in a sense, four with Natalia Reyes as Danny, because she pulls her own weight at the end. She's learning. It's not like Sarah Connor's where she was this, in the first movie, where she had to build up to the courage by the end, and she was willing to fight. In this movie, Danny, she's a tough chick, and so she's willing to fight back early on. It's not like they're taking care of her, all these people, to protect her from harm. She's pulling her own weight, so that's a good part of it. Mackenzie Davis, I think, rocked it. Oh my gosh, she was so badass. I wasn't sold on her, even though I really love the actress. I really like what she does. I think she's fantastic. One of the new up-and-coming actors that I think will do really good things. In Halt and Catch and Release, I forgot what the name of the AMC show. She was really, really good. And obviously, a lot of people thought so because now she's getting a lot of roles from that TV show. But she pulled her own weight in here, and I thought she was just great. I thought she had a great character, and that you see a little bit of Reyes in her. Not exactly, but her motives or her passion to help, not rescue, but save this woman. So you see a little bit of that. And Natalia Reyes also provided a different kind of strength that I think made it powerful, and that all the women, I'm not even going to break it down by women, everyone was badass. Everyone did their equal amount of saving. Sarah Connor, Mackenzie Davis's Grace, her name is Grace, and Danny. played by Natalia Reyes. And of course, Arnold Schwarzenegger saves the day a few times. So it's equal parts, which I was really, really glad. And again, the balance that Tim Miller brought to the movie was superb. And not everyone's going to enjoy it, obviously. There's going to be, things people pick at. But I thought overall it was a really, really good job. And it made you forget about all the other movies in between T2 and now. Okay, the CGI was one thing I was worried about because in the trailers it looked kind of iffy, and a lot of people said keep in mind it might not be the completed project, so I went in there with an open mind. And luckily the CGI, I'm happy to report, is really, really good, especially the exoskeleton. It looks so real. And in T2 it looked very real as well, but it looked very mechanical. Here you have like very natural movement. I mean, we all know, of course, the robots, of course, are going to be mechanical, but mechanical in the sense in the real world, not CGI world. So I think they got it really, really good. I mean, I was amazed how good it looked, the exoskeleton. Just really very detailed, and the movements were right. And Gabriel Luna's Terminator, as far as his movements as a human, were also really good. There was one thing I did have a problem with, and that's mostly with motion as far as when he was running, or no, not running, but climbing, or he was not skipping, but he was on all fours going from cage to cage on top of them. That didn't look realistic as far as natural movement. It looked like CGI movement. I don't know why they can't get that right. Someone answer me. The movement, it's hard to explain, but it's not natural. It doesn't look like normal human motion. And even if they just slowed it down, I mean, I'm no expert, but to me it's like if you slowed it down, it might look a little more realistic. So I'm not sure what is going on there, but it seems like common sense. Why wouldn't you just slow the motion down? But anyway, I digress. So there's only like 2 or 3 moments that take me out of the movie because I thought, well, that didn't look good. But everything else, I was blown away. The action was just insane. There's probably like 2 times more action than there is in T2 or Terminator, the original. And it really went by really, really fast. And I was kind of sad to see it end because I wanted more. And, the dynamic of the Terminator, of Arnold Schwarzenegger's Terminator, is very much the same where Sarah Connor distrusts him. And so they slowly build up to that kind of that same moment you have in T2. So as I mentioned, there's a lot of familiar moments, but the good thing is there's enough new stuff and and there's a big freaking twist that, oh my God, I was looking side to side to see people's reactions. I was in shock about this twist. But that's what I mean by new. And I really, really like that balance, that there's a lot of familiar stuff because we know a lot of people hate complete changing of things like The Last Jedi. And a lot of people said that this movie was like The Force Awakens, and I didn't understand why. But I think they meant as far as very familiar elements. I mean, there's no like Death Star, obviously. But there's a lot of familiar elements in here that people will enjoy, and there's some beats that are very similar to T2 and the original. But like I said, I think people like to have that familiarity, but also bring in the new. And I think they accomplished it in this one. So I give it a high recommendation. 2 thumbs up.